I was always put down because of my open school, and I was told that I could not go into good universities. Then, after researching a lot, I came across luckily to Ace My Prep, and from there my journey started to studying abroad and finally making it to University of Rochester. US is not something like that you get campus placements, companies will come to your campus. Yes, they do for job fairs, but at the end of the day, what is essential is networking. I think for me it was a pretty smooth experience. 2 months we nailed all those 7-8 universities that we applied, and we converted most of them. I remember me putting out all of myself in those essays, in those recipes.
How did you manage to get a job during this period?
I think luckily for me, networking played a really essential role.
So hi guys, welcome to the podcast, and today we have Udit Goel with us. He is a University of Rochester student. I think he will explain it better. So Udit, can you just introduce yourself to our students?
Sure. Hi, I'm Udit. I'm 22. I did my Master's in Finance from University of Rochester Science Business School. And before that, I did my BCom Honors from Delhi University with majors in Accounting and Finance. Recently, I got a full-time job offer after completing my Master's in Finance, and I worked as a financial analyst with Stewart Healthcare in Boston.
Okay, congrats on the job. First of all, getting a job during this recession period is mind-blowing. So, Udit, I'll take you back to last year, right? January 2022, I think you walked through our doors, right? You were very energetic, right? So, can you just tell me a little bit about what research did you do about the study abroad plan before you came to us?
So before coming to Ace My Prep in January 22, I was along with my bachelor's, I was pursuing my CA. I always was thinking of getting accounting major, but since I was trading as a capital market financial analyst, I got more inclined towards the investment and financial side of it, and therefore I decided that instead of doing accounting major, I should go for a master's in finance from a reputed institute in the US, which could amplify my skills and provide me the opportunity to go ahead and pursue a thing in this field. So I was researching more and more about it, but the problem that I was facing is since I was doing my chartered accountancy, I was doing my bachelor's with the Open School, Delhi University.
Right.
And Open School is not always considered a good platform to do your bachelor's in India, but as in when I went to other educational consultancies around, and it felt really bad in a way because I was always put down because of my open school, and I was told that I could not go into good universities. Then after researching a lot, I came across luckily to Ace My Prep, and from there my journey started to studying abroad and finally making it to University of Rochester.
Great. So I think this is a common problem that many open school people face, right? So after you also, we got a lot of cases where people who had done distance learning were told by the other agents or counselors that they couldn't study abroad, right? So you have broken that myth for a lot of people, right? So from the last year, we have received a lot of questions on this also. So kudos on that as well. Now, moving forward, right? So the first time you met Ace My Prep, what answers did they give you or so that actually compelled you to enroll with them for a 1-year program? Or so what exactly did they do right?
So when I first met Pragya ma'am at Ace My Prep, so the major part that she explained me was with respect to my journey that I can still do with respect to my master's in finance from a top-notch educational institution, even while pursuing a bachelor's degree from Open Business School. Because Open School is considered a kind of a taboo in India, that it's not well recognized or something, but in the US it's not like that. It's something that, hey, okay, you're doing your schooling from Open Business School, but at the same time you're pursuing a CA or you're pursuing job full time. So they take it otherwise, that they consider that the person is having experience as well. And since she has a lot of experience and knowledge about the same, about how education and education works in the US, she told me on the first day that it's a myth that you can't go to a top B school, and we did have a very short time left with us because I came here in January 22 and then I was aiming for fall 22. So with respect to the whole journey from targeting the best B school and what rotation we should go for, what curriculum should we target, what are the number of credits that are there, we went on to every part of the university and its curriculum and how it can be done that could help me take myself to the best B school possible.
Right, exactly. So I remember that because soon after that I became your career counselor, right? So and then we had a beautiful journey for the next 6 months, right? So the constraints that I remember from your profile is that we did have a distance learning and we didn't have time. We were ready to take a GMAT, but we didn't have time to go for a GMAT, right? So we had to go for GMAT waiver universities for MS Finance, right? So what all were you looking at in your dream school? So you were going to invest what 50, 60 lakhs into this process. So what were you looking into the dream school? What made you select these universities?
So for any B school, it is very essential that you target the practical aspects of it. Talking about Simon Business School, University of Rochester, they have a number of programs, number of clubs that give practical exposure to the fields of equity research, venture capital, and then there's a Bloomberg lab that's there. So you get hands-on learning onto every aspect that you learn in your classes with your professors, and then you get the practical side of it. Considering the Simon Business School, with respect to the curriculum that it provides, it just tick mark every box for me with respect to the field that I was looking for, going first to financial analysis and probably over a period of time going into portfolio evaluation. So the credits and the curriculum with respect to risk management and going through the professors and having a word with them virtually on how I could have a good experience with regards to University of Rochester and talking to their counselors. I was really confident enough that yes, Simon Business School is something that I can take up and that could probably provide me the brand name and the recognition along with the practical aspects of the curriculum that I was going to take up.
Okay. But this was not the only school that applied. There were other on the shortlist. So, what was alike in all of those universities? Like I remember Fordham being one of your top options, Texas McCombs being one of your options, Northeastern University in Boston being one of your options. So, what was common in all of these?
I think the common thing that you have to see when selecting a good B school is, I think the location plays a really important role. Since all of the schools that that Nikhil mentioned with respect to Texas McCombs, it's in Texas, right? So you get access to a really good job market, and then you have big players such as Goldman Sachs, who is directly recruiting from Texas McCombs as well as University of Texas at Dallas, UTD. With respect to Boston, it provides a hands-on experience again to the market. You have Harvard, MIT, and you have access to the corporate world as well as the student culture in so the healthcare side of US, you get to have exposure of that. Now coming down to Fordham Business School and Simon Business School, you are in New York City, so that's the financial hub of US. So once you are into the market, it is very essential that you use that market to network with people, because US is not something like that you get campus placements, companies will come to your campus. Yes, they do for job fairs, but at the end of the day, what is essential is networking. Right. So you have to network and you have to talk to people, you have to be in the market. So I think job market and the curriculum that was there and the alumni network that they showed. So that was something that was common in all these universities.
Job market, curriculum and alumni. Like these three were your priorities when you were shortlisting the universities. Perfect, perfect. Now, when you shortlisted these universities, I remember going through the applications very fast because we were already in the last round of applications or so. So, how did the Ace My Prep framework, the framework that we've created over the past 5 years or so, how did this help? Was it seamless? Did you face any problems? Right? How did the process go? Just a brief about this.
I think for me the process went pretty smooth. We had 1.5 months in our hands. 15th January and November till 30th March. So in that we did all of our applications. I still remember sitting down with you at nights during matching with the US time zone, emailing every university with respect to the curriculum and if we are fit or not. Because sometimes they do have application fees, and sometimes we do get application fee waivers, but then considering the amount of money that we invest into application fees, we have to make sure that we don't hit the wrong spot. So it's very essential that we do have a basic idea that if we are a good fit to the university or not. So I think going through every university, sitting down with you, applying with all the universities, writing those essays, writing those SOPs, having the know-how about how to do things. And then after a point of time, it is about personal growth as well. You providing all those opportunities that after a point of time you made me so capable that I could fill out one of those job applications, the university's applications myself. So I think for me it was a pretty smooth experience. 2 months we nailed all those 7 8 universities that we applied, and we converted most of them.
Right, exactly. Talking about the conversions, you just didn't get through universities, right? It was not just about getting through universities, about universities being so impressed with his profile, with his interviews, that they gave him damn good scholarships. Right? So University of Rochester gave you $35,000 scholarship, right? I remember Northeastern giving you around a 10 lakh scholarship as well, right? So what exactly happens in these interviews, right? So because you attended a lot of interviews, I remember, and you never failed an interview, I remember, because if he went to an interview, somehow even I had the confidence that he's going to crack it. Right? So can you just tell us brief about what the interview experiences and how does it differ in India? I think I've interviewed in India as well. So how does it differ in India than in US?
I think in the US, it is something that you don't have to be very tight about how are you speaking or how do you present yourself. It is essential. It is very important. But then the major part of is how do you talk to the recruiter.
Right.
It is somewhat very different in India, since you have to be pretty planned with respect to technical things, and you have to speak the right words, you have to sit the right way. But in the US, it's more about connecting with the individual and that individual actually liking you and actually making you feel that, hey, you are a good fit for the organization, you can fit into the diversity of the organization, and you can be a good colleague and a good person for the organization at first. Everything in the US, they go through 2 weeks or 3 weeks of training period. So they do. So majority of the part that boils down to you is how do you present yourself to the recruiter, and do they feel that, hey, you can be fit to the organization with regards to the past experiences that you carry. So I think for me, the major thing that helped me was the mock interviews that we prepared. Being confident and showing out yourself is really essential in an interview, who you actually are. And you have to do that groundwork, that you have to know what are the things that are essential, what the interviewer is expecting out of you. So I think it is really important to do your homework, and that is something that we built on sitting down for weeks and then preparing for those interviews.
Definitely, because I remember we having a strategy for each interview, a little different maybe, because it should connect with the virtues or the values of the university. Sometimes you have to be loud, you have to actually self-appreciate a lot. Sometimes you don't need to do that. Sometimes you need to play it cool. So I remember everything. That's great, right? And how important do you think the essays play a role? Because see, your CV read out as a distance learning graduate, right? You had 2 internships while you were, doing this process. You also went on and did very good internships, international internships. But at the end of the day, how important do you think these essays are to showcase what you mean, right? What your life means. So how did you? What do you think? How important they are?
I think the university, till the point they call you out for an interview, also there are a lot of applications coming in. So the essays just tell them about you, who you actually are as a person. The SOPs, the essays. So when they give you out the question, it's not just that, hey, just Google it out and give it to us, or use AI to give a random answer. They actually want to know how that person thinks. Again, coming to the point similar with respect to the interviews, they want to know that will this person be good fit to the university? Will this person be able to carry on the diversity, the inclusion of the university, and at the same time, can this person gel up with respect to a new culture?
Right.
So when they give all those questions, they want to know your understanding and the way you think about it.
Right.
So I think essays play a really essential role because they portray you who you actually are. Because till the time a person sitting in the university who's going through your essays and going through your CV, they don't know you. They don't know you who you are. So actually, it is really essential that you portray yourself in the best way possible with respect to how you think, and being original is really essential.
Right.
So when we were preparing for our SOPs and for our essays, I remember me putting out all of myself in those essays, in those SOPs, and then the refining goes through, and we make it more precise and more to cut to the point, just make it appropriate for the university application process. So I think they should be original, and they reflect you in every way.
Perfect. That's true. That's what I also say to all of my students, that essays are the 60% of the application, right? Because they don't know you from scratch. We as counselors know you, right? So we get this time with you that we can understand, okay, this is a good achievement, that's a good achievement. But if the essays don't portray exactly that, then it becomes a little difficult for them to understand you and follow you for an interview. Perfect. Perfect. So now just the last phase of you going, right? So you receive Rochester, Northeastern, Fordham, all of the good universities that were on your shortlist. You receive an admit and a scholarship. You boiled down to Rochester. I think your filters were pretty strict, right? So you boiled down to Rochester. That's fair. But after this, because the journey does not end there, right? Getting an offer is just the first step, right? So after this, there was visa, there was loan, and there was also flying out, right, at the right point of time. So how did that process go, like, after this?
So everything was pretty new to me. I have never taken an international trip at any point of time in my life. So it was first time me flying to the States. And for somebody who always had a dream to go to the US to do his master. So it was a dream come true. So at the very start of it, the visa interview, if I talk about the visa interview first, everybody is scared of the fact that they're not getting slots or they're not getting the reservations. So I just want to tell everyone that you will get your slots at the right point of time. There will be a time when there will be a bulk of slots open, so you will get that. With respect to the visa interview, yes, a lot of candidates don't make it to the visa interview, but for the visa interview, I think it's really essential that again you are really confident and you know which university you are going to, what curriculum you're going for, and what are the skill sets that you have developed to make it in the curriculum. They are US as a country, they don't want people to become a liability for them, so they make sure that you have the right amount of financial capability to sustain in the states. So now coming to the financial stability, I always wanted to go on my own, take loan, and then pay it back after I start earning, and then be something that I don't want to take anything from my dad, because I always had this thing that I wanted to build myself from scratch. So coming because education loans at that point of time it just gets really hectic with also everything happening. So I think thank you to you guys. You really helped me get a number of offers with respect to the loan and the best possible interest rates also. So selecting one of that and then coming down my flying experience. So I think everything was taken care by them also. Them back booking my tickets and seeing if I had the right layovers, and then because I really didn't have that exposure and experience with regards to booking flights, and then at the end of the day finalizing my housing also, because it gets pretty hectic and overwhelming. You have so many things to do and you don't have any clue sitting down in India that how do I have to select a house, what particular conditions that they are in, and how do I find my roommates. So I think everything was provided to me in a plate with regards to ace my prep. Yes, definitely I did my efforts. I did put in number of hours required to research, and then they also did their part, and then we collaboratively did everything, and we figured out the best for me.
I think you said it beautifully. We collaborated. So yes, we will try to give every service, but at the end of the day, I remember Udit being awake at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., finding the houses, asking me about interest rates or so, right? So that is the level of enthusiasm that you came with the first day as well, and you sustained that, right? Because that was the exact dream, and that's what we love working with you, because there is only 60% of the work that we can do at the end of the day, right? 40% has to be the student, right? It can't become on the silver platter. So I think there you worked really hard. So all kudos to you as well. So I guess, yeah, that's how this entire like 6 months of hectic schedule worked. And at the end of the day, you were at University of Rochester. Now let's cut to Rochester, right? Because this is the part that most students want to know. What after going there? What planning? You are a living example who has gone through the entire masters, has a job right now in his hand. So I want to start there. How did it live up to your expectations, right? You had a Rochester, like it was a dream school for you. Did it live up to your expectations? What are the pros, cons, right, of the university or of that entire study abroad experience?
So I think landing in the first day in the States, it is overwhelming, exciting. You have butterflies in your stomach, and you are anxious because it's a new country altogether. You don't know anything, how the transport system works, and how do you reach from the airport to the to your housing. So I think when you reach the States, you have to go with a very open mindset that challenges will come for me, and then you have to be open to those challenges. Because during those challenges, now if I see myself today, to the first day that I landed in the US, I have really grown as an individual because at the end of the day, you are doing everything by your own.
Right.
You are washing your dishes, you are preparing for your assignments, you are preparing for your homework, you are searching for your job at the same time,
Right.
and you are managing your network at the end of the day. So you have to be planned. With respect to my university experience, Simon Business School is one of the best schools. It's the latest rankings. It has been ranked 27th in the US. So it moved 6 spots up. So I think the practical experience that US provides and the independence that it provides as an individual, it may definitely seem overwhelming at the start of the session. The first 3-4 months, you will get homesick. That is natural. You will cry in front of your parents that you want to go back to India and how everything is good in India. But trust me, after a point of time, when you start getting used to the environment, you start working, you do a part-time job in the university as a Starbucks manager or working as a teaching assistant. And when you get in the money and you are working at the same time with respect to building your curriculum experience, you actually see yourself growing in that process.
Right.
And I think everything settles down after a point of time and you start feeling comfortable in the States. But then definitely it will take some time for you to adapt. Just hold on to yourself, just trust yourself, be confident, and just know that you will make it at the end of the day.
Right. Perfect. So yeah, I think we have gone through this entire cycle now, right? And you finished. I think you've already finished almost all of your curriculum, right? So can you just shed a light on that? How did that happen? Because according to the documents, you will graduate this December, but you will be starting your job right now. So I think that's very fascinating for all of us students as well to know. So what exactly goes on there?
So my university provides 2 tracks. One is the internship track, one is the non-internship track. So I hold myself an internship track. So with respect to internship track, all of my major courses end in May. So I've done all of my courses. Now I have only one course left, which is a financial modeling course. That is something that either you could do remote, or if you are in the university, you could do it in person. So there's an internship track from June till mid-August. You go through that internship track and you work with a company, you gain practical experiences, and then you come back to the university. Or if you get a full-time job, the way I did, so you can fly to the place where you got that job. You can start working full-time, and at the same time, as when the course starts in August or in around September, you can take up the course remotely from that place you are in, and while you are doing your full-time job, and you just have to go back in December, just give one of the final exams of that particular course. So at the same time your course is also going, you get to work full-time on your CPT. So I think that is one of a really good part of my university, that it allows me to work on CPT, and it gives me 6 months more time with respect to my OPT period, because my OPT period will be for 3 years.
Right.
So 6 months extension in regards to the CPT that it provides. It is really essential because you feel confident about yourself. As you complete your course in May, you have a full-time job in your hand. So I think everybody who is seeing this podcast, I would recommend you to go through an internship track, not just because you get a 6-month window of a CPT, but also because of the time that, see if today, back in 2022, I went for internship track, I didn't know how the market will be 1 year down the line. But if I wouldn't have taken the internship track, I would be graduating in May. So I would get my degree in May, and then I would have 150 days roughly with regards to everything. And if I don't get a full-time job or an internship in those 150 days, I would have to fly back to India. So I think that internship track does leverage you, does give you that 6-month extension period in which you can go and find a job. So I think everybody who whatever university you select and you get that internship track, do go for it. It provides a cushion for you during these times. As everybody knows, there's a recession going on in the US. Job market is tight, but at the end, if you are ready to work hard, I think you will make it.
Yeah, exactly. So just breaking it down very simply, your university provided your 12-month track on a 16-month track, right? In the 12-month track, you would have graduated in May, right? And you would have only 5 months to find a job. If you couldn't, you would have been deported to India. Now, instead of that, you took the internship track, where you have time till December till you graduate. And because of your hard work, you already have a full-time job right now. So you will be starting your full-time job.
Then post December, you have the 150 days.
Oh, okay.
So December 23 plus 150 days, that would give you a time till May 24.
May 24.
Yeah. So I think that's
That's like a 1 year push.
1 year push to get a job.
So I think that's a very firm advice. I would say go for the internship track, because at the end of the day, if you don't get a job, you don't have to panic by the end of the curriculum, right? You have 6 months to just find an internship or a full-time job. Now, I think Udit is very well placed because he has just finished his curriculum. He has a full-time job, so he'll be using his CPT, his internship time, to do a full-time job, earn the best wages that you can. Right? So that's beautiful. That's great. Just one thing here, there will be a questions I will definitely know in the comment section that will say, in this recession period where everybody is getting laid off, how did you manage to get a job, right? Also, very well paid job, right? So, how did you manage that? Because many people are even afraid to go right now because they think in the recession they will not get the return of investment, right? For you, the return of investment was the primary objective. We have achieved that. So, how did you manage to get a job during this period?
I think, luckily for me, networking played a really essential role. Right? Not just for me, but for everyone. If you are in the States, as I mentioned before, you can't expect companies to come at your campus and recruit you and take you out from there. You have to do your own hard work with respect to connecting people on LinkedIn. You have to cold call them, you have to email them, you have to drop in a email to them with respect to resumes. I remember, connecting with 500, 600 people on LinkedIn, and then 300, 400 people ghost you, they don't reply to you, and then you end up getting replies from 30, 40 people. But I think even if you convert 3 or 4 out of those 30, 40 people, you get 3, 4 interviews. For me, I knew that the job market is tight. I applied to 1,000 jobs. I've been applying from January onwards. Though I should have applied from October, but since I was caught up in the curriculum and everything was overwhelming for me, I did push my applications from January. But even after applying to all those companies, I knew that the day I would get an interview, that would be it for me. I don't have another opportunity. I have to convert it at any cost. So I made sure that I was brushing up on my skills with respect to preparing for the final interview, the job role that I was targeting with my curriculum. You have to be on your toes with respect to networking. You have to connect with people, talk to them about their industry experience, get on coffee chats with them. And you have to just build a network with those people that when you require them and when they require you, you have a network ready for you. So I think the majority part is making your resume fit. I think in the US and in India also, the ATS, the application tracking system, is an important part since most of the resumes get out of the ATS just because they're not in the proper format, they don't have pertinent keywords. So you have to make sure that your resume is fit for the job you are applying. It has those keywords, you make it as per the job description. And then if you get an interview, you prepare in the best way possible. You know who you're talking to, what company you're talking to, what the company is about, and what they expect out from you. So I think in the process, you have to work hard. There is no other way. Nobody would give you a job in your hand. It is overwhelming. It will get hectic. There will be bad days where you will be like, I have applied 200 jobs. I still remember I used to wake up with reject calls every day, 6-7 reject calls. But you don't have to give up. I also felt like giving up after a point of time that I can't do it, I want to break. But then one call was enough for me that I got a call from the HR manager that, hey, are you willing to relocate to Boston? We are really interested with you with respect to the skills that you have. So I think you have to be on your toes. You will not get a separate time to prepare for your interviews and for your job. In the process when you are doing your curriculum, As the curriculum gets light or you get some breaks in between, you have to finish your courses, develop your skills. And I think in the US, what matters is the skills that you have and the way you present yourself. So if you're confident enough with your skills and you know how to talk, you will make it.
So I think the key takeaways will be that yes, people will not come up to you and give jobs, right? So you'll have to prepare, right? So there is no shortcuts here. And recession or no recession, I think the process here is the same, right? Even without the recession, this would have been the same procedure. Maybe fewer calls would have gotten your job, but I think the process remains the same. So that's what I have also been telling my students, that if you go right now, right, you will graduate a year later or 2 years later, and by that time the recession would either have gotten a little graver and better or completely better, right? So it's better to go there and fight rather than stay in India. So the last
See, I always believe in the fact that life always gives you the controllables and the uncontrollables.
Perfect.
Recession is something that is not in your hand. That is a factor that is totally out of your control. You don't know when the recession is going to end, when there's a boom going to happen. Just if people would know about stock markets and about the investment journeys with respect to what Warren Buffett or any person says, they just tell you that you have to be on the pitch. It's like a test match.
Right.
You have to be on the pitch. There would be times when you will just do a defense shot, or there will be times when you get opportunity to take a six. But if you feel that okay, so now the recession is gone, now I would start applying, everything's going perfect, something or the other will hit. Everything was going smooth and COVID came. Nobody was expecting it. Maybe you're just working and there's a stock market crisis, there's a financial crisis, everything goes haywire. So the thing is that you have to focus on the controllables. The controllables are upskilling yourself, getting a degree, and being the best version of yourself. Because when the opportunity kicks in, you are ready and you know that okay, now I have those skills and now I will apply to all the jobs. Situations get uncertain, people are laid off, and that is something that nobody can help. People do get laid off in India as well and in the States. So you have to be ready for everything, and there is no right time to go for a job, but the right time is now.
So in totality, right, do you think this study abroad move of yours was profitable? Was it the good choice or the bad choice? Because many people even are at that phase where they are still thinking going abroad is a good move or not. So what will be your last judgment on this?
I like to break it down into two parts. A, the monetary part, and B, the behavioral part. So I'll first talk about the monetary part. The monetary part is great with respect to how you are paid, with respect to the industry standards.
Right.
You will have a good life. With respect to, you will make enough money with respect to the job. In the US, you will have enough savings. You will be able to fulfill your materialistic desires. Yes, you get paid fairly enough, and the work-life balance is great. You don't have to rush till 10 o'clock in the office at night, the way conditions get bad here sometimes during peak season. You will have to work as many hours it was asked by the HR manager to do, and at the same time you will learn a lot in a very positive way with respect to people around helping you grow, because monetary part can be earned in India as well, but I think the behavioral part helps a lot. With me going to the US, getting the time to spend by myself, learning a lot of things about myself on how do I behave with people, on how do I stay alone, and it is really essential after a point of time that one starts learning to love their own company. So I think the behavioral part plays a very essential role. You meet a lot of new people. You start to develop that confidence on how to talk to someone, how to go and approach someone, on how you can network with them. So I think that confidence is really essential because you are put into the field and you don't have any choice now. You are in India. You are around your parents. Everything is safeguarded. You have a house. You have money flowing in. You just have to study. Back in the US, everything you have to do is on your own. Starting from doing a part-time, making money, and start till managing your job, and then on full-time job. So you start becoming more and more responsible, and you start getting the hang of it on how to enjoy your own company and be an independent person. So I think those people who are considering to go to the US for their journey, don't just go for making money, but just go for a good experience with respect to being a good human in terms of living alone, growing, and then the side part, the byproduct would be making money and then growing a lot.
Right.
So I think yes, definitely go for US or for Australia or for any part of the world that you are planning to go in, because it would help you grow a lot. And then once you are there, you started the journey. It may find you may find it overwhelming at first, but after a point in time, you will adapt that, and you wouldn't want to come back to India. At least that has been my case. Not just because whatever prospects there are in India, but you just start loving your own company and the way you learn and grow there.
Like it was very beautiful put, but yeah, at the end of the day, even as a byproduct, the career will also progress, right?
Definitely.
So the both of the progresses are actually simultaneous, right? I think that's what you meant. So that's a very good way to put it, right? And the last thing is for people, for students who are just starting this application journey, right? So can you just tell them how important this period is, like the application period? Right now, so you are successfully have crossed this hurdle and all, right? But back in January 2022, do you think like how important was that application segment, the 3-4 months, right? Because everything else was a domino effect of it, right? So how important this is, and how carefully should they choose the counselor? How carefully should they choose their applications? How important this is, yeah.
So if you have to reach the end of the goal, you don't know what the path will be in the future.
Right.
You just see that one particular step that you know that you have to reach that particular spot in the sky at that particular place, but you don't know the journey out there and you don't know what future holds for you. But right now, what you know is that particular step that you have in front of you and how best, in what best way you can do that. So for the people who are just starting their application process, it is really essential that you choose the right university for you, because if you do that, then you would get the right placement in terms of growing your network and in terms of leveraging your skills and your career. And before taking a step back and to reach that particular university, you have to go through the right application process. Luckily for me, I never believe in endorsing something, but Ace My Prep has been a beautiful part of my journey, because if Ace My Prep wasn't there for me at that particular point of time, because everybody had put me in a zone where they made me think that, okay, getting into US is very difficult.
Right.
Yes, it is. But then when you have proper mentors like Pragya ma'am and you Nikhil, who has been there with me from the start of the journey, so it really helps you grow a lot, and you think that, okay, now I have crossed one hurdle, I've got one admit from a university, and another happens and another happens, so it keeps on flowing. So it is really essential that whatever you are doing right now with regards to your application journey, you do it in the best possible way, you make your resumes in the best possible ways, you have the right essays, and then the best scholarships for you, and the right visa network, and after that your journey towards planning your stay and the flights and everything. So I think everything plays an essential role, right from the application to getting your final dream job in the US.
Exactly. So everything is connected, right? So every move of yours is important. So I guess on that note, we'll end this podcast, right? So thank you so much, Udit, for joining us, right? And congrats on the job offer. I think you're flying home to Boston tonight itself.
Yeah.
So congrats on that and good luck on that.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.